You may be able to tell I'm in a new place, bit of a new setting, yet to put up a few acoustic panels and frames and stuff, so it will look properly finished probably in the next video. But it's a new year, and I'm back with another video to help all you producers out there who want to know how to create beats that artists actually want to buy in 2025. Going into the new year, I find is a really good time to assess your production, your process, the kind of music you make, and what changes, if there are any, that you should make. It's a great opportunity to reflect on the music that you're making, and if it is something that artists truly want to buy, if obviously you are making it for that reason, which I'm assuming you are if you're watching this video. So to make sure this video is as useful and valuable as possible to you, I'm going to give you 4 itties, which sounds a bit weird, but it's basically just 4 different words that are crucial to start selling beats in 2025. So the first one is marketability. There has to be an audience for the beats that you're making. Have a search for the type beat genre that you're making into YouTube, into vidIQ, to get an indication into whether there is a market for those type beats. It's no good creating beats if there is no one who's looking for that sort of style and genre. Of course, be original, and we'll come to that a bit later, but be original in a market which already has people interested in it. Put a spin on a particular genre. Marketability in the context of selling beats also means how you promote them on social media, YouTube, sending to artists, etc. I would suggest trying to find artists who make music in the style of beats that you make, and try to connect with them over DM so that you can market them beats going forward. I say market in inverted commas because you don't want it to come across to them that you are marketing to them, because then that will just put the artist off. You want to build a genuine interest and connection. This way you have an audience for your beats and you're in direct contact with them, even if it's just a very small audience. If you want marketability for your beats on social media, they need to be in a style which translate well to social media. Whatever content style is up to you, and that's not for this video, but it obviously needs to have a draw to it, whether it's really emotional and you can capitalize on that, or even just background music for something emotional, whether it's hard and aggressive, you can use that. Whatever the beats sound like, they need to be in a style which people can create to. Moving on to a more production specific aspect, which is the second itty, that is simplicity. Still in 2025, beats need to be simple to sell. This does not mean boring. The key is finding the sweet spot where the beats are both simple and interesting. And it is hard to get both. Often when we make simple beats, they can be boring. But to make simple beats which are also interesting, it does take a lot of practice. And I also think it also takes a lot of active listening to music out there. Listen to some of your favorite artists and identify the different sounds and layers in there. It's hard when not selling beats or many beats to trust that simple beats you make will eventually sell and the beats you're making are good enough to sell. Often when you're not selling beats and it's not working yet, the temptation is to then make those beats sound more impressive by making them more complex, more busy, because you think that's what will make them more enticing. But the truth is, what's most enticing to an artist is a beat which they can hear themselves on. They won't be able to hear themselves on your beats if there's too much going on. A good way to make simple but interesting beats is to layer sounds. A lot of big songs, if you see how they were made, there's a lot of layering of different sounds playing the same melody. That's how they achieve a nice full sound while keeping things simple. Another good way to know if your beats are too complex or not is to add your own vocals on top of it. It doesn't have to be anything special or even proper words, but just record yourself on the beat, listen back to it after and see if it sounds too busy or if it's just the right balance. This brings me nicely onto the third, listenability. When I talk about listenability, this relates both to the future listener of the full song and also the artist which is potentially going to buy the beat. The beats you make have to sound attractive. This relates heavily to what I said about simplicity, that the artist has to listen to the beat and hear the space made for them. They should also be able to listen to the beat for a while on repeat, I think. That means arranging your beats in a way which keeps things interesting. That's a great way of ensuring your beats are both simple and interesting and listenable. Keep things moving and changing throughout the full thing, create different sections, bring things in and out at different times, and leave space for the artist. This makes the beat have greater listenability because it keeps the artist and future listener engaged and entertained. Also, listenability I think is generated through having little bits of ear candy throughout the beat, meaning little sprinkles of things which don't happen too frequently but just keep things interesting, and as it says in the name, is something for the ear to grab onto. Often in the really good Travis Scott beats that you hear, for example, what makes them great are the little synth injections of things which just add to the atmosphere and maintain that space for the artist while keeping it really interesting. Then the final itty, which I said I'd come onto in the beginning, is originality. There is nothing we need more in 2025 than originality. With so many producers and beats out there, nowadays it's so important to make music which is unique, or at least authentic to you. It's stuff that you want to make. I did say at the start that you have to make beats in a genre which artists are actually interested in, and that's true. So maybe it's about finding a middle ground if you like making music in a genre which artists aren't really that interested in buying beats in. Mix what you make with another genre and see what you find. Maybe it's about finding artists who like original sounds and seeking them specifically so you can see what they think of your beats. But originality doesn't have to be just stuff not in a single lane at all, purely innovative and unique. It can be just making things in a slightly different way with a slightly different sound. A lot of the time I make folk beats, and what I've tried to put into my music is a bit of rawness and human element where not everything is perfect. There's a bit of string buzz, a bit of room noise, but then making it fit with the feel and vibe of the song. That's not necessarily making something completely new, but it is being original and authentic because it's how I'm making the beats and how I like making them. So use your own ideas and don't try to be another producer. Yes, use them and their music as references, and I'm a big advocate for that. I've said that in many videos to do that and bring elements of what they do into your music, but what is key is having an element which is your own. So those are the 4 key things which I think are necessary for making beats which artists actually want to buy in 2025. If you want weekly opportunities to get placements, then join my Discord in the description. We've just started in 2025 doing weekly placement opportunities, so it's a really great time to join. I'll see you in the next video.